So, you're thinking about getting into real estate investing, but you're like, I'm not a millionaire. How do I become an investor? I can help you with that. Today, we're going to talk about how real estate investing is actually open and accessible to just about everyone. Here's how. Stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe right down below because I make a new video every single week and you're gonna wanna get notified. Also, my contact information is right here. Boop, boop, boop. So if you have any questions, or if you're coming to Warrensburg or Knob Noster or PCSing the Whiteman Air Force Base and have any questions or need someone to help you find a home, I'm your gal. So call me, text me, email me. I love talking to people. Today, friends, we are talking about something near and dear to my heart, and that is learning how to create a passive income, meaning that you sit and do nothing and money just comes your way, by real estate investing. So investing money in real estate. So many people that I talk to are like, Eva, how do I become a real estate investor? I'm not a millionaire. I don't have like oodles and oodles of cash sitting in a closet somewhere. Well, friends, I used to think the same exact way before I got into real estate, before I became a real estate agent, and realized that there are so many different ways of financing an investment property, from using property that you already have as collateral to different types of really great loans to living in a house to house hacking. There are so many different ways that you can become a real estate investor, and we're going to talk about it. First, let's talk about some different types of loans, because one of the easiest ways to become a real estate investor is to obviously get a loan for a property and buy it. And there's a couple different options. There's traditional financing, meaning that you get a conventional loan. You can go to your bank, and I actually have a really great bank that I love working with. I'll just do a shout out. Tim Gerby at Community National Bank. He's a wonderful bank that I send quite a few clients to because they really work on awesome out-of-the-box ways to help clients afford properties, both regular home loans and for investment purposes. So, and they can use things like they can leverage a property that you already own and have equity in. So say you own a house, you're paying a mortgage on it, but you pay a mortgage for $100,000 and the house is worth like $300,000. You can use the equity in that home to then get a loan on an investment property like a duplex that you rent out, which then literally covers the mortgage of the duplex plus a couple $100s a month. And that's how you can use your own home, not putting any money down, and then buy a duplex. That's just one way. There's also conventional regular loans where you put down 10 to 20% and they check your credit scores and go through all the rigmarole and they give you your loan. Now there's also other options. So there's something called a FHA loan, which is a first-time home buyer's loan. And this is, you can use an FHA loan to purchase multifamily. So you can use an FHA loan where you only have to put down 3.5%. So conventional is 10 to 20, and then FHA is only 3.5%. So way better. But you can use this loan to buy multifamily property as long as you occupy it within a certain amount of time. So like as long as you're going to live in it. What do I mean here? Well, I do a lot of videos on house hacking, and that's what this is. Basically, you buy a duplex or you buy a quadplex. You live in one of the units. So let's, for example, say that you buy a duplex, 2 units. You buy that duplex for $250,000. You live in one side, and then the other side you rent out. And from that rent, I would recommend using a property manager. That way the tenants never know that you own it and they handle everything. They lease it, they clean it, they do all the things. So basically you're living in one side, and that rent is paying for half of or all of your mortgage. So you're living for free, but then your tenant is actually paying down your mortgage and paying for you to gain equity in your house. So over, a period of time, they're basically paying for your mortgage. It's awesome. Something else to think about is that you can use multiple loans. So you use an FHA loan to purchase your first duplex. Then you live in that duplex for a year or 2 years, and then you go to the bank. Like for example, you go to Community National Bank and say, hey, Tim, I wanna use my duplex as collateral to purchase my next investment property. And then honestly, you just rinse and repeat. You move out of the duplex into the new duplex, rent out the old one that you were living in, and then that pays for half your mortgage on the next place. And you just slowly but surely rinse and repeat. And then in 15 years, you have 5 duplexes, and that's giving you a passive income of $8,000. Wow, awesome. So another loan that can be used to purchase investment property is a VA loan. And this one hits near and dear because of course I'm right next to Whiteman Air Force Base, and I work with so many airmen and families who don't realize that they can actually use their VA loan to purchase a rental property it's just like an FHA loan, as long as they occupy the property themselves for a year. So for example, you can buy a quadplex, so 4 units. You can live in 1 unit, rent out the other 3 units, and those units basically pay for you to live completely. And you can do that with your VA loan as long as you occupy the property. And what's even cooler is if you do that, you live in it for a year, you can use your VA loan a second time as long as you have enough left in the VA limit, and I think it's something like $698,000. It fluctuates, but as long as you have enough left, you can then purchase a second property using your VA loan as long as you live in it. And basically now you have 1 quadplex that's paying for your entire mortgage and extra, and you live in a second house, all purchased with your VA loan. So there's so many different types of wiggle room with these loans on how you can become an investor. So some other financing options are something called hard money lenders. And what these are private companies or private people basically that literally loan you the money, and it's cash, to purchase properties. Now this type of thing is used a lot more by house flippers because these loans usually come with a high interest price tag. So it's very short term that you want to keep this loan because you're looking at a loan at like 20%. But there are a lot of companies out there who do hard loans or hard money loans so that you could basically buy a cheap property, flip it, sell it, pay back the loan, make some money, rinse and repeat. I'm personally I am not a flipper by trade. I prefer buying properties, fixing them up, keeping them, and renting them out. I like looking at the long game, but I know a lot of people and a lot of friends that are very successful using hard money loans and doing house flips. So it's a really good option. And then of course you have private money loans. So if you have like a really rich grandpa, be like, yo, I want to become a real estate investor. Because honestly, once you have a property, you can then leverage that property to get a second property, and so on and so forth, rinse and repeat. Really, the big secret to all of this is you have to have a really good real estate agent. One who knows the ins and outs of renovating properties, flipping properties, buying real estate investment properties, so they know what's a good deal, what isn't a good deal, and they can really lead you in the direction of how to grow your portfolio. So find a really good agent. That's my #1 recommendation. So another option is something called real estate crowdfunding, and that's basically where you have, just what it sounds like, you are outsourcing your loans. You're basically raising money from hundreds of other investors in order to buy a property, and then when you get the return on that property, you rent it out, all of those little investors basically get a chunk of the pie. Again, not my favorite, also an option. Another great option though, and this goes back to when I was really kind of talking about going to someone like a bank that you really like and that is really good with flexible lending, it's something called a HELOC. And what this is a home equity line of credit, where they use your house as collateral and then they give you a certain amount of money that you can borrow based on the equity in your house. And actually, I have quite a few investors that use that because they use a HELOC, they purchase a property, they hold that property for 1 to 2 years, or they make a bunch of renovations on it, they sell that property, they make money, rinse and repeat. And it's all based off the equity they have in their own home. So what I would tell a friend getting into real estate investing, number one, find a really good agent who knows the market, who has contacts to possibly purchase things off market, because you can usually get a much better deal, and find someone who just knows their stuff, because that is the number one thing that will help you become a successful real estate investor, is finding an agent who is an investor themselves so they know what a good deal is. And then the second thing I would recommend is find a really good bank or find a really good lender. Find someone who can take what you have and look at it from all angles and say, hey, I can make this happen. Because if you own a home already and you want to be a real estate investor, there's a really good chance that you can do something like a HELOC, that you can do something like inventive financing. Or if you don't, and you say you're a airman and you have a VA loan, go to someone like Jared Jones, who is an expert in VA loans and can say, hey, let's get this done. As long as you live, as long as you live in an occupied property, I can take the rental income from one side, add it into this, and let's see what we can do. So you have to find a good real estate agent, you have to find a good lender or a good bank, and then go out there and start shopping. And then rinse and repeat. Think of the long game. Real estate investing is all about the long game of where you can be. And for me, I would like to be, when I'm a certain age, and I'm not going to tell you what that age is, I would like to have a completely passive income and not have to work, even though I love working. And I think that's the goal of every real estate investor, because you know what? Land, man. Gotta get that land, that property. Anyway, I digress. That was a little silly. But I hope that anyone watching this, if y'all have any questions about ways that you can become a real estate investor, do not hesitate. Give me a call. My contact information is right down there. It's right down there. And I really love talking to people, especially about real estate investing. It's like a passion of mine, if you can't tell. Don't forget to like and subscribe also right down below. I make a new video every week. And send me an email, send me a text. What do you think of the video? Are you looking to be a real estate investor? Why or why not? Tell me in the comments. See you next time. Bye.